everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name's Tamika. This is Library of Tomes, where I talk to you about all the bookish things going on in my life. Hi, welcome back. I hope you're doing great. Let's talk about the books that I've read in the first half of the year, and let's do the mid-year book freakout tag. So I originally filmed this and it was supposed to go up last week, but I didn't like the way it looked, so we're redoing it. Hi, hello. If you didn't know, the mid-year book freakout tag is a video that I like to do every single year, and this is a video that I have been doing for a long time because when I started BookTube shortly after this book tag was created, so I've really enjoyed doing it every year and picking the books that went with it. And I think this year is going to be even more exciting because I feel like I continue to have better and better reading years every single year because I now know what I love and what I love to read. So let's talk about the questions for the mid-year book freakout tag. I cannot wait to talk about them. Okay, so question number one, what is your favorite book that you have read in 2021 so far? And I'm not picking one. I was going to just pick one, but I've decided that I don't want to do that. So we're not going to. So first of all, obviously we have Rush by Brianna Hale. I don't think that I could talk about any book this year without talking about this because this is obviously my favorite Brianna Hale book this so far. This is a rockstar daddy romance. This is the sweetest thing in the whole world. We have a hero who is literally the softest baby in the whole world. I say he's a soft dom. You can tell me that he's not in the comments. I don't care. He is a soft dom. He only cares about like making sure she's okay, making sure she's happy, making sure he gives her exactly what she wants. But he does give her exactly what she wants. He does not question her. He does not say, are you sure? He never makes her feel bad about what she wants. Never. So he is constantly like making sure that everything she ever needs is taken care of. So Rush is my bean. I love him. I love Dree. I love both of these characters. The story was absolutely phenomenal. Please go read it if you have not. Are we shocked Brianna Hale made it? I'm sure not. So I also want to talk about a manga series. Obviously we cannot talk about anything but Tokyo Ghoul on this channel anymore. I love Tokyo Ghoul. I love it so much. It is a fantastic manga series that is 14 volumes long. This follows Ken Kaneki, who is a college student and he is a bookworm. He is very shy. He ends up getting a date with this girl named Riza. They end up going on a date because they both like the same horror writer, and lo and behold, Riza is a ghoul and her organs get put into Ken Kaneki, and Ken Kaneki becomes a half human, half ghoul. It is his story trying to come to terms with this idea and trying to relearn how to live in this world where he has grown up as a human and now he has to relearn how to exist as a ghoul as well. And it is very beautiful. I love it so very much. I love Ken Kaneki. I adore his story. I love the second half of this manga series. I love the transformations he goes through. I love the horror aspects, but this is not like super scary. So for my babies who like aren't really comfortable with horror, this is not that scary. I just freaking love this manga series. Please read it. It is so absolutely phenomenal and I cannot stress that enough. I will never shut up about Tokyo Ghoul ever again. I absolutely love it. Please go check it out if you have any need to listen to me. Please go read it, please. I also want to talk about Her Soul to Take by Harley LaRoe. I did order a signed copy of this. I am absolutely thrilled to be getting it. This is a demon, a paranormal romance about a girl who is coming back to this sleepy town that she's from, and there ends up being cults and human sacrifice in here, and she falls for this demon. She accidentally summons him and then he's just like, what are you doing? I'm right here. And she thinks it's all a prank, but it's not, and it's the romance between them. So many kinks in here, so many different things going on in the story. It's absolutely so good. I love it so very much. There is just so many things in here. This would definitely be a dark romance. It does read a little bit more like a horror because of all of the weird dark themes like the human sacrifice, the ancient gods, the cults, the different creatures running around in the woods, the fact that she is a paranormal investigator because she has a YouTube channel. It's so cute. I love this. It was so good, and I highly recommend this one to everyone. Please read it. I'm going to probably never shut up about it ever again. So then we have the best sequel that you've read so far in 2021, and obviously that's going to be Lothair by Kresley Cole. I'm just going to talk about the Immortals After Dark series. I did start this series this year. I have read up into book 4. I'm on book 4 now. I've also read book 12 or book 11, which is Lothair. Lothair's my favorite. Is anyone shocked? I have gushed about Lothair so much because Ellie is from Appalachia. I feel like this book was just done so well for people who live in Appalachia. I loved the way that Ellie acted. I loved the way she thought about things. I love that like no point in this book did I feel like I was made fun of. I just absolutely freaking adored this book. I loved Lothair. He was such a horrible, mean villain that I loved, and I was just rooting for him to get a happily ever after. You know how I am. I love a dark anti-hero. I love an evil guy who gets a happily ever after, who is literally, I will rip the world apart, but I will love you endlessly. I will be so good to you and burn the rest of the world down. That is what I love in romance. I love those heroes. You tell me that a book has that kind of hero, I'm in. You've sold me on the book. I'm ready for it. Give it to me. That's exactly how I felt Lothair was. And he was mean to her. Like, he was straight up mean to her. They were enemies to lovers because he was so mean to her because he didn't want to believe that his fated mate was actually her and not the goddess that was taking over and possessing her body. So absolutely phenomenal. I loved it so much. Please read the Immortals After Dark series. Oh my god. But then we have a new release that you haven't read yet, but you really want to. For me, I'm doing Satan's Affair by H.D. Carlton. I don't remember much about this one, but there is like a circus kind of element going on. This is a dark romance that I want to get to. I know there's probably other ones, but this is the one that came to mind that I'm wanting to read the soonest. So I'm definitely going with this book. Number 4 is your most anticipated release for the year. I don't know if this came out yet or not, but it Happened One Summer by Tessa Bailey. This one I have an ARC for, so I need to get to it soon. I really love Tessa Bailey. I don't know anything about it. It's a summer Tessa Bailey. I don't need to know anything else, to be honest. So I'm very excited to get to this book. I adore Tessa Bailey, so I'm ready for it. I also want to quickly mention First Comes Blood by Lilith Vincent. This is Brianna Hill's pen name. I am not going to shut up about this book. This is a reverse harem mafia romance where our heroine, she is promised to 4 mafia guys when she turns 18 and she's engaged to them. So very dark and super interesting. I love it so I love the prequel so much already. So I cannot wait to see what she does here. Then I have the biggest disappointment. This would have to be The Shining by Stephen King. I don't want to talk about it too much, but I just did not like this. I feel like I'm growing out of my love for Stephen King's books. I'm definitely interested in continuing the movies that get made from his books. But as for the books, I'm not 100% sure where I stand anymore. I did do a whole rant basically in my last wrap up, but I don't know how I feel about it. My biggest surprise of the year was Beauty and Darkness by Elizabeth Briggs. This was a fantasy romance, and hi, my name's Tamika. I never read fantasy, and I read this fantasy romance and absolutely loved it. This was about Rose, who ends up going to another... I love that my... Did that just completely die? So this follows Rose, who ends up going and marrying off to this king to stop a war between their kingdoms. There's a lot of like mystery things going on because of the situation at hand. There's like this like dark shadow figure basically destroying the other kingdom, and there's another war going on, so the 2 kingdoms have to end their war in order to fight against this bigger war that's going on. So I'm very excited to continue the series. This was absolutely the biggest surprise because hi, fantasy romance from me? I loved it though. I'm ready for it. And a new favorite author is obviously Elizabeth Briggs. I literally love her. I've read so many of her books already this year. She wrote the fantasy romance that I read, and she also wrote a demon romance that I loved. So I'm definitely continuing her books. I've read 3 so far already, and I just love them already so much. So I'm combining question 8 and 9, which is a new fictional crush and a new new favorite character. I'm just gonna go with Rush because I don't really have a crush on him, but I love him, and that is the closest thing that I could pick. He is probably my new favorite daddy from Brianna, and that is, he took Zacharias' spot, and I don't know how that managed to happen, but I absolutely love him. He is my favorite daddy from Brianna. And he's my favorite character from all the books that I've read this year. He's a bean, and I love him. I love him a lot. The next one is a book that has made you cry, and I don't know a book that's made me cry. I know a book has made me cry this year. I just don't know which one it was. So I'm just gonna say there's not one, but there's definitely a book that's made me cry. I don't know what book that would be because I'm just a weirdo and I don't really track that. This question is a book that's made you happy. I'm gonna go with Voyeur by Fiona Cole. I just love student teacher romances and that fills my heart with happiness. So Voyeur definitely made me really happy. It is a student teacher romance and it's a college and like student, so it wasn't very creepy. I just really enjoyed this. It has like a sex club to watch people do sexual acts. It was a very interesting concept and I just really enjoyed it. Next up is the most beautiful book that you've bought or received this year, and I am going to show mine. So if you have any body horror issues, I'm going to show you the cover really quick and then I will show you the inside. So this is Twisted Visions by Junji Ito. This is a collection of his art, and I can't show you the back without giving you a warning for body horror, but this front one, there's not a lot of body horror here. I'm going to turn it, I'm going to open it up and it's going to have some body horror, so if you don't want to see it, go ahead and skip forward. So here is some of the art on the inside. This is just what is on the actual hardback part, but this is what some of the art looks like. It's absolutely gorgeous. I'm gonna flip to some pages. There's like actual art from the different books that he has, and it is just fantastic. I love this. This is easily my favorite thing that I've bought all year. So yeah, Junji Ito, my baby. I love him. And the last question is just what other books that you want to get to in the second half of the year. What else do you want to get to in the next part of the year? For me, I want to dive into Pam Godwin's backlist and I want to read Lilith Vincent's new books and all of the releases that Brianna has coming out, because I know that Brianna Hill has some new releases coming out. I want to dive into Lila James's backlist, and I just really want to dive into some dark romance authors backlist, and I really want to get to Tokyo Ghoul, The Promised Neverland, and also I want to dive back into Junji Ito's backlist as well. So those are kind of the things that I'm looking forward to going into the next half of the year, and I'm excited to read them. If you're still here, go ahead and leave me a candle down in the comments, and I will chat with y'all in my next video.